Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being with us today at this forum being organized in partnership with Government of Manipur, focusing on the opportunities of the states at Information Technology Special Economic Zone. On behalf of SOCHM family, I extend warm welcome to all of you. It gives me immense pleasure to share Honorable Donor Minister, Government of India, Minister of State, PM Office, Dr. Jitendra Singh has consented to be with us. Welcome, Honorable Minister, sir, and thank you for gracing the occasion. It's a privilege for us to have Dr. Rajesh Kumar, Chief Secretary, Government of Manipur, who has been guiding and mentoring the team for the state ITSEZ project. He's here with us. Welcome, sir, and welcome to the entire team of officials who are there with me. Please join me to extend warm welcome to Dr. B.K. Panda, Zonal Development Commissioner, East and Northeast SEZs. And on behalf of Northeast Council Chairman, I would also like to extend warm welcome to the eminent industry leaders and the members of the ASSOCHAM who have joined us today from various cities of the country, as well as some of our special guests who have joined us from UK and other parts of the world. The program today is divided in two parts, where in the second part of a detailed presentation shall be shared with the eminent industry members, where the features of the SEZ and the government scheme shall be detailed out, following which we will take the industry questions. Without any further delay, may I invite Mr. Deepak Sood, Secretary General ASSOCHAM, for his opening remarks and his thoughts for the program. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Parvinder. My words of welcome to each and everyone. Honorable Minister, once again, thank you so much. बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद. आप हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं. Just as informed, you've just recovered from COVID, and I'm sure we wish you very good health. Post-COVID, ध्यान ज़्यादा रखना है is what I'm being told, and the experience I've had with my family. So, wishing you all the best, sir, and all the other people over here who have just kind of recovered. So just to give you a small synopsis of ASSOCHAM's intervention, I think जब wave 1 हुई थी तो जब Honorable Prime Minister lockdown किया था तो we were not really knowing the unknown. But this time when wave 2 came, we were better know-how of this, and we were able to recover the economy well enough. And I think with the opening up of the economies in a phased manner once more, I think the economy should come back in time. For us to once again take it. The world had said it cannot happen. We showed it last time. I'm sure we'll show it to them this time as well. During this wave, sir, there was a need of oxygen to such levels, and I want to thank each and every member of ASSOCHAM who really participated, partnered the government. 900 ton की consumption दिन की से 9,000 ton जाना, arranging that itself was a mammoth task. I think commendable job done by everybody involved, whether it was the armed forces, whether it was the governments, it was the state governments or the central government. I think everybody pitched it in a very large way, and real compliments to everybody whoever participated with this. I think, sir, as we look at this opening phase and as we're looking at, I think the opportunity of India, and I'm taking a few steps back from what the Prime Minister has always been saying. I think Atmanirbhar Bharat and providing ourselves the opportunity, plugging ourselves in the global value chain is a huge opportunity. And I think all that needs to, and all can be done should be done. The PLI schemes that have been put out, aggregation of demand, helping expand the existing is something that ASSOCHAM and Government of India is working together to ensure this opportunity is brought about. And leading ourselves into creation of new jobs, more skilled people across India, and most importantly, generating more and more business people who will give jobs and not create more job seekers. And I think with this volume of business that grows, the role of states and state administrations becomes extremely important. And today, as we are talking about Manipur and its new journey, we have strong strength of Manipur in areas of agriculture, in areas of tribal arts and handlooms and medicinal plants. But Manipur also gives you a very strong flavor of geographical location, which gives you the opportunity to reach the far east, Act East policy of the government, and therefore it really helps you not only to reach out to the Southeast Asia, but I think also to East Asia as a large sense. Today, digital is the way of working world, and sitting out of anywhere in the world, you could do anything. And I think the right steps have been taken, and Manipur today embarks on setting out of this ITSEZ with infrastructure available, with pipeline of people and IITs with them. I wish Manipur, its administration, its people, and the business people who are going to get associated. All the best. And I look forward to listening to the views of everyone. Back to you, Purnendra. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your kind words and encouraging and setting up the tone and agenda for the program. Um, it is uh, it is indeed a pleasure that we have a whole range of experts who are there with us. I would like to call upon Mr. Mahendra Agarwal, Chairman, ASSOCHAM Northeast Regional Development Council, to share the industry view and his own engagements and attachment to the Northeast. Over to you, Agarwal, Mr. Agarwal.
Thank you, Purnendra ji. Dr. Jitendra Singh, Honorable Minister, Donor and Minister of State, PMO, Dr. Rajesh Kumar, Chief Secretary, Government of Manipur, Dr. B.K. Panda, Deepak ji, members of ASSOCHAM, ladies and gentlemen. To be socially and economically sustainable, India's growth must be inclusive, and the integration and development of the Northeast region is critical for India's continued progress. Over the past recent few years, there are visible signs of changes in terms of connectivity and infrastructure, and I would like to acknowledge that the Indian government has made a range of efforts to propel growth in the Northeast, which has comparatively slower pace of industrialization and socio-economic growth. We believe that Northeast can be transformed into an economic corridor connecting India, Myanmar, Bangladesh, and Asian countries. This, of course, requires more action on the ground and coordinated efforts of government and private entity. Manipur, as the key state connecting Myanmar by a land route, has significant role to play in development of the region. Manipur has the largest bamboo forest cultivation of 1,200 kilometers, hydropower potential, attractive tourist destination spots, big mineral deposits of limestone and chromite. All these are unexplored so far and have potential to bring significant change to the economy and employment of the state, which needs to be explored with collective efforts. Our focus area today, Manipur IT SEZ, is going to be a launchpad for IT and IT-enabled services in Northeast, and it is going to give a boost to IT-based services and infrastructure development. Northeast is rich in its human resource, and we have good English-speaking population which can take up BPO-like roles with minimal training. Support from industries and right policy from government will certainly boost the IT SEZ and will also see reverse migration of Northeast youth working in cities like Bangalore and Pune. I am confident today's deliberations shall help industry members explore opportunities that the state is offering. At ASSOCHAM Northeast Council, our effort is to support industry and regional development. I look forward to interactions of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. I would like to invite Dr. B.K. Panda, Zonal Development Commissioner, East and Northeast. Dr. Panda, sir, you have been instrumental in supporting SEZs in this region, and we would like to have your inputs and your thoughts, because we have a lot of industry members who have joined and who would be interacting after the presentation, asking specific questions. Over to you, Dr. Panda, sir.
Dr. Jitendra Singh, Honorable Minister for Donor and PMO, Mr. Deepak Sood, Secretary General ASSOCHAM, Mr. Mahendra Agarwal ji, the Chairman Northeast Region Council, Dr. Rajesh Kumar, Chief Secretary Manipur, and all the industry leaders, developers, and entrepreneurs. Actually, India, as we know, that is the place for the better economy, and everybody is now looking at India because India's population is almost 1/5 of the world population. So growth in India, economic growth is an important aspect, and everybody is in the world is looking at it. Our export during 2020-21 was nearly $490 billion. And the import was nearly $504. There are about $12 billion of trade deficit was there. And this trade deficit could be met out, could be reduced by continuous increasing the export. In the export market, the SEZ has a great role, and SEZ comprises around 20%, more than 20% of the total export of the country. Because the SEZs, they are having the single point transactions, and the total today we are having around 265 SEZs and around 5,400 units in our country. It not only improves the foreign exchange and also gives the employment in the country. Now, in last 15 years, the employment scenario has increased from 1.3 lakh to 22 lakh in the special economic zones. Today, we are the export has also exponentially increased during this last 15 years. This is the SEZs are mainly the ease of doing business. It is in the number one because it is having a single window clearance system, and there is a multi-departmental committee which meets very regularly and periodically and clears all the issues. And the licenses are given for 5 years and not for every consignment. The custom service is available round the clock at the doorstep, and other functions of the government machineries are vested with the development commissioners, and the online transactions are reduced, and the reduced human interference. Online transactions are available. And not only the SEZs has the double benefit. It's not only the export but also promotes the Make in India program and the Skill India program, because as long as they are meeting the NFE conditions, they can also sell it in the DTA market. So there is a ease of transfer of technology. There is 100% FDI available. They can in the SEZs because it's treated as a foreign land, and it's in the automatic route. 100% FDI is possible, and offshore banking also can be opened in these zones. These special economic zones have been developed, and with the association and promotion of export promotion councils and associations, and these associations like ASSOCHAM in the country. Coming to our FALTA SEZ, the FALTA SEZ comprises around 12 states, like 4 eastern states and Astalakshmi, that 8 states in the northeast. And there are about 17 SEZs in our zone, and around 117 units are operating now. There are 7 are in West Bengal, 5 are in Odisha, 1 in Jharkhand, and 1 each in Nagaland, Manipur, Tripura, and Sikkim. The Manipur and Sikkim, they are the IT SEZs. As we know that the exports of all the SEZs, they comprise around, our export was 9 lakh crores during 2020-21, and of which the SEZ, the FALTA SEZ is exported 31,725 crores during the last year. Yes, though it encompasses 12 states, the export is only 4%. There is an immense opportunity before us to improve upon and have more export, because this eastern zone and the northeastern zone is full of technical manpower and mineral resources like coal, iron ore, mica, bauxite, petroleum, fire clay, limestone, and the agriculture products like jute and tea. And the exports of FALTA SEZ, comprising all the 12 states, also has shown the increase in the export over year on year. And the employment also has increased. Now there are about 80,600 people are working as a direct employment, other than the indirect employment in this zone. The investment also has gone up. Now it is the cumulative investment is 26,000 crores by now. And the past performance of the EOUs, the export-oriented units, also they are operated under the DC's jurisdiction. That is also shown. Last year it is 8.8% increase over the previous year, even during the pandemic. The improvement in the merchandise also, it has shown, even during the pandemic, the eastern zone, it has shown 12% increase in the merchandise and around 43% increase in the jewelry. That is, even though the whole of the country, there was a decline in the trade, both in merchandise and gems and gemstones. It shows that how eastern zone can come up, and we have the confidence, and even during this pandemic we could do it better, and also in future we are expecting that they can go up with the help of the trade leaders. And coming to Act East, in the past, with the association of ASSOCHAM, we had a meeting in Nagaland. Also, we had a workshop in Assam, Guwahati in Assam. And in the last few years, 3-4 years, we have taken a lot of activities. And as a result, in the Nagaland SEZ could be operationalized in 2019. And in Tripura, we have one agro-based SEZ has come up at the Sabrum, which is nearer to the border. And this after this Maitri Bridge constructed across the Feni River, now it is a thoroughfare to Bangladesh. You can have improved the Indo-Bangla trade relations through this, and it is very close to Chittagong port. So, and in Manipur, as we said, though it was sanctioned in 2000, it was notified in 2014, and now it has come up, and Honorable Home Minister has laid the foundation stone of that building in December 2020, and for the 1.3 lakh square feet built-up area is expected, and the training center is going to come up very soon with the help of IIIT, and this innovation and technology hub is also coming up with the help of the KIIT Bhubaneswar and IIIT along with the state government of Manipur. The state government of Manipur has taken very initiative in the recent past, and their officers are also working very hard to bring it to a reality. And we're also expecting, because this is, we have said that there English speaking people are there, the youngsters, they can be diverted to this IT business, and they can also earn by sitting at their home. They are not required to go to Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, elsewhere. In Sikkim also recently, we have, even during the pandemic, our officers had gone for the inspection in the Namli, and recently on 28th of last month, the approval has been accorded by Government of India to set up a IT SEZ with 6.32 hectares of land. And also the Assam government, who had gone to Assam and met all the state government officials to set up an SEZ in Guwahati, near Guwahati. And the Arunachal Pradesh also has shown the interest by sending their senior officer, secretary level officer to visit us, and they have also interested. We are also planning to set up the SEZ in Arunachal Pradesh very soon. It is our government is very keen in improving the economic activities in the Northeast and improve the Astalakshmi. And because the Astalakshmi, our 8 states, they are not only the far eastern part of our country, they are the gateway to East and Southeast Asian countries. And this is very, very important. If we can develop, then this market is very
right.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Panda, thank you so much. That was really very kind of you. I would like to invite Chief Secretary Manipur, Dr. Rajesh Kumar, sir. You have been the guide and the mentor to the entire team who have worked hard, as Dr. Panda has put forward. We would like to have your thoughts, please, sir.
Honorable Minister for Donor, PMO and DOPT, Dr. Jiten Singh Ji, Shri Deepak Sood Ji, Mr. Mahendra Agrawal Ji, Dr. BK Panda, lot of my friends which I know in the group who are sitting here, and Nilay Verma from Primus Partner, who are our consultants. At the outset, I will thank the Honorable Minister to spare his very, very valuable time. Sir, we are delighted and very much encouraged that you are leading this very important meeting today, which will lay the foundation stone for making this SEZ functional and in reality. A mention was made that this SEZ notified 2014. In fact, it was approved in January 13. There was a change of government, and also I disappeared to Government of India for 5 years. But now it has really come on the right track. We are moving very, very fast. Now, I will not take much time, but the presentation made by Primus Partners can be taken as part of my intervention. But certain key things I want to highlight. Manipur is very, very well connected with the air. Our railway line also will come by December 22, if not earlier. And we are the gateway to the Asian countries and Southeast Asia. The people are very, very skillful, and our government right now is focusing on tourism and IT as a major employment generating sector. In fact, we are glad to inform, like the ITSEZ, the World Bank has been requested to finance the processing part of it. Similarly, the ADB is also now identified by the screening committee or DEA for a mega ecotourism project at Loktak Lake, which is the largest freshwater lake in Southeast Asia. Once these two projects come up, Manipur's economy will transform. And we are extremely serious about it. Right now, when we are discussing SEZ, my other team is working on the Loktak Lake also concurrently. Now, in SEZ, luckily, we have got an IT park commissioned. It is functional. In the IT park, we have set up an innovation hub, which has also started working. Because of COVID, we could not start the classes and trainings of the people. Tata Technologies have come forward into the SEZ, and they have got an MOU approved by our cabinet of 200 crore initially for skilling and training and capacity building. They will also have a satellite township in different district headquarters, and Imphal will be the capital hub. So that is one thing which is happening in reality. We are going to roll it out the moment the COVID situation improves, maybe from July onwards. Similarly, Kalinga Institute of Technology has come forward. They got derailed because of April-May COVID impact. So very soon in July, I'm going to reinitiate the process. We had 2-3 rounds of discussion of World Bank. World Bank is keen to fund. There was a building which was coming up of 126,000 square feet, the building number 1, which we have awarded the balance work recently. And we are going to commission the building by September, October. And we are looking forward for the people to come and join hands with us. In fact, we are going to float an EOI very, very soon. And Nilay Verma also has talked to some industry people. There's an industry from Pune which has shown keen interest to put up a call center of 500 to 1,000. This building we want to occupy and make it operational by December itself. If we show the speed and result, I have no doubt the industry will come forward and join hands. So once this building becomes successful, the other 4 envelopes we target to complete in next 3-4 years time with the World Bank assistance. In the non-processing zone, we are also providing for quality residential plot. The person can take the land for 60 years lease with nominal sharing of revenue. It will be rental housing. We are providing for a hospital 24/7. We are providing for a hotel and a shopping arcade and other amenities, because SEZ we want to have a self-sufficient, a mini Gurgaon kind of thing. You don't go out. The police headquarters building also is coming up next to that. And across the road, we have our secretariat, which is going to shift. So this will become the happening place. And one more thing which is happening, an elevated corridor from that place is coming to the airport. You can travel in 5 minutes to SEZ the moment elevated corridor through Ministry of Road Transport comes up in next 3 years' time. So the situation is very, very ripe. My appeal to every industry partner today is to join hands and move in a fast track and telescope the time so that we really deliver in the right sense. All support of government of Manipur will be there. We are very liberal with any concession the industry wants. Internet connectivity is wonderful. In fact, 5G pilots are also going to start. We have people who are trained in IT who can come back from different parts of the world and India to Manipur at half the wages which are being paid in Chennai, Bangalore, Gurgaon, other places. So you will have a much more profitability here. And we want to make it a center which will look after the neighboring countries like Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and others also, because their IT needs are there. In fact, some of our IT entrepreneurs have started small business in Myanmar and Laos also. So that's very, very good. And once this becomes successful, we have no doubt that Manipur SEZ shall be the IT hub of the Northeast. These words I'll conclude. And I like to listen to the Honorable Minister for his encouraging word, because he's the Minister for Donor also, and he's our personal Minister also, he's in PMO. Sir, we will really like to be guided by you how to proceed forward in this matter. Thank you.
Dr. Rajesh, thank you so much for those. I would honestly believe to say that, the complete ingredients that one needs to plan for are available, and with your dynamic leadership at the state level, I'm sure this will be translated very, very quickly. With this, may I now invite the chief guest for the afternoon, Dr. Jitendra Singh, Honorable Donor Minister and Minister for State for PMO office. Thank you so much for joining once again, sir, and thank you for now agreeing to speak to us. Thank you. Over to you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Mr. Rajesh Kumar, Chief Secretary, Government of Manipur. Mr. Deepak Sood, who's been very vibrantly leading the association for quite some time now, the Secretary General. Mr. Mahinder Agarwal, Chairman, ASSOCHAM Northeast Regional Development Council, Mr. B.K. Panda, IOFS Zonal Development Commissioner East and Northeast, the eminent members of the ASSOCHAM, senior officers from the government of Manipur, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for your kind introduction, Mr. Sood. And also, I took a special note of what Mr. Rajesh Kumar was saying, that I have spared my valuable time. But I will just add over here that my time becomes valuable when I become associated with initiatives like this, because that is part of my responsibility in the Ministry for Development of Northeast region. So my time is valuable because I am giving it to you. So it's part of my job and in fact collective responsibility for all of us. Nevertheless, I am glad that ASSOCHAM has taken this initiative along with the government of Manipur. When I was listening to all the good things being said about this initiative, about also the role that Manipur and indeed the Northeast is set to play, I think the thought that was occurring to my mind is that if you just look back what was there about 6 or 7 years back, it is a huge, huge transformation, which is to be seen, to be believed, and it can't be explained unless somebody who's not been there to Manipur or to the others areas in the northeastern region for the last 6, 7 years is made to conduct a tour there and then realize what has transformed under the leadership of Shri Narendra Modi after he took over as the Prime Minister. And this transformation has been incredible, unbelievable, and to an extent unprecedented, because when we came in, and when this government came in 2014, there were at least 2 or 3 states in the Northeast which had never seen a train. Like, for example, Arunachal Pradesh or Meghalaya. Today, we have a double gauge rail track being laid down all over, including in Manipur. We hardly had an airport, an adequate airport in the entire region. Today, we have an airport coming up in each of the state capitals. And Imphal, where Mr. Rajesh Kumar and his colleagues are sitting, is going to have an international airport very soon. So I think this has been possible because of the personal indulgence of the Honorable Prime Minister, the personal outreach of Mr. Modi, who, I would point out a figure which is often goes unnoticed, that has traveled to Northeast, I think, more than 50 times during his tenure as Prime Minister. And sometimes I wonder that if it was not the COVID era, the COVID year of 1 year span, it might have crossed almost that figure and must have touched nearly 100, because he was traveling to Northeast personally almost twice or thrice a month in one or the other part. And then the union ministers were traveling very frequently. A process which we began about 4 years back, which got suspended in the month of COVID, and I would like to share with the Chief Secretary of Manipur that we are going to start it again from the 1st of July. So this has been a tremendous, consistent effort with a huge degree of passion and commitment, which has led to this. Now, even if we just talk about Manipur, because that is the subject of this afternoon's discussion. Before this government came in, Manipur made news for what? Made news for road blockades. It made news for insurgency. It made news for encounters. It made news for militant killings. And today, if you just apply your mind, today Manipur makes news for the first ever sports university in that region, the foundation stone of which was also laid after this government came in by Prime Minister Modi. Manipur, as I said, is also known to be a state for one of the 3 international airports in the region which have come up in the first phase after Guwahati, Imphal being one and Agartala being the other one. And huge infrastructural development which was sought to be facilitated with the efforts of the Ministry of Donaire and also the central government, we have a huge investment happening from Japan and UNDP. Because as all of us would realize, Japan has a huge sentimental association with Manipur because that is the land where they sacrificed thousands of their soldiers during the Second World War. And therefore, when we actually engaged ourselves with the government of Japan, they were happy to come forward and help us out somewhere in the gap funding, somewhere in new infrastructural initiatives and investments. And that has also been important because, as was being mentioned by Mr. Rajesh Kumar and earlier, I think, by Mr. Sood, it is the Prime Minister who has who gave us the cue to stop looking at East and then start acting instead. So we are no longer only looking at it, we are now seeking to act. And when we act, we have to act through Manipur, and we have to act beyond the borders of the Northeast. And if we have to act beyond the borders of Northeast, we have to essentially strengthen ourselves, empower ourselves proximal to the borders. As far as the initiative of the special economic zones is concerned, I hardly need to point out that technology, innovation, knowledge management are extremely important in today's context. And in this regard, Manipur is fast emerging as a state where the state local initiatives are going hand in hand with the national and global efforts, as I was just pointing out a few moments ago. And that also justifies the theme of this afternoon's program, which is that Manipur, the land of opportunities. A northeastern region infrastructural growth supported by the government of India, supported by international agencies, I would say is also one of the finest examples of people, partnership and projects. And the creation of special economic zones is a key towards providing opportunities to business and people. There were times when there used to be a huge exodus of the youth from Manipur and to a great extent from the entire northeastern region in search of jobs and livelihood outside in the rest of the country. Today, it is the other way around. It's so heartening to see that employers are heading for Northeast. And being a student of science, I avoid talking without evidence. You would notice if you travel in a aircraft, even deep down Deccan in Hyderabad or Chennai, you will find a crew comprising of boys and girls from Manipur. So it's the other way around now. Hotel industry, tourism industry, aviation industry across the country is reaching out to Northeast to give them jobs. And this has happened because of the initiatives like the one that we are discussing this afternoon. And therefore, I'm delighted to learn, and I must also compliment that the government of Manipur and the SHM are working to highlight the technology as well as the non-technology opportunities and resources of Manipur. And I'm sure such combined efforts not only shall raise interest among potential partners to explore new relationships, but shall also bridge the gap of industrialization between the region and the rest of the country. And already, as I see, the earlier definitions of mainland, hinterland are gradually vanishing away from the memory. And we are virtually a part of the mainstream, rather leading the mainstream. The IT-SEZ will boost the state's economy, promote tourism, and most importantly, create employment opportunities, both direct as well as indirect. It will also boost infrastructure development with units like hotel, hospital, residential complexes. It will cater to the need of skilling in the state and will provide right platform for youth to take up skilled jobs and promote entrepreneurship. And therefore, I look forward to the development of IT-SEZ in Manipur and such initiatives being replicated not only in the other states of the northeastern region, but also in the other states of the rest of India, because Northeast is fast emerging as a role model for other states as well, in more ways than one, including its appreciable management of COVID, which has been better than many other states. There have been constant efforts by the government to help businesses and entrepreneurs, and significant steps have already been taken in this direction, and the reforms are underway, such as investment in agriculture, hydropower, infrastructure, information, communication technology, tourism, as well as creating new avenues of growth through the development of vertically integrated food processing chains, marketing, skill development, and cross-border trade. And I, on my behalf, on the Ministry of Donor, on the behalf of the Government of India, has no hesitation to reiterate that the government is giving a special impetus to entrepreneurship in Northeast. In fact, the Ministry of Donor, which took the initiative of introducing Viability Fund to the Stand Up India, Startups India scheme, which had been initiated by Prime Minister at a pan-India level. And the result is that now we have groups of young potential entrepreneurs, even from other parts of the country, heading for Northeast to try their fortunes. Connectivity is improving, and for instance, to ensure quality power, which is the basic need of industry, in recent years, the projects of power generation have been prioritized, and there is availability of quality power now to help the businesses to grow and to facilitate their progress. For all of us, I'm sure you would agree, it's important that the time-bound completion of ongoing projects in roads, roadways, water, airways, and power is ensured. And our priority should be to build up the required infrastructure right up to the border areas, establishing connectivity and communication links to the cross-border points to promote trade and economic exchanges in the countries across the northeastern region. As I said, if we have to engage ourselves, the ASEAN countries, the countries across the eastern borders, we have to empower ourselves proximal to these borders. And as far as the timelines are concerned, the Ministry of Donor has itself introduced a more technology-based mechanism in the last 3 or 4 years for procuring utilization certificates in time, also using satellite imaging to procure real-time authentic utilization certificates so that the release of the subsequent grants of funds happens in time. And we are also trying to make sure that we make a departure from the past practice of leaving many projects in a languishing condition and then forgetting about it. In fact, last year we also took an exercise to review all those languishing projects and to reallocate the funds which had been parked in the name of these projects. And therefore, to conclude, I would just say that Manipur's strength lies in its people, its natural resources, and government is committed to provide policy support to the industry. And there I would ask the business leaders to come forward, to partner with us, to partner with the government. And I'm sure, and I also agree to that extent with the Chief Secretary when he said that Manipur would soon become the IT hub of Northeast, but I would be a little more ambitious in saying that it has the potential to become an IT hub of India. And why Manipur is important to us is because it is a gateway to Northeast, and why Northeast is important because it is gateway to India's successful engagement across the eastern borders. And I think, and I hope, and I can visualize with a certain degree of confidence that in the post-COVID India, Northeast, including Manipur, is going to have a very critical role in the resurgence of economy and in the supplementation of economy. And the path to post-COVID India would be via Northeast. And Northeast, including Manipur, is destined to lead India's post-COVID economy. And with that goal in sight and that huge possibility and huge opportunity awaiting us to seize it and to push forward this region, I wish the program a success. And I'm sure the presentations being made in this program and the interactions with the potential industry partners, which might be happening after this session, would benefit all. And I would also like myself to be kept informed about the deliberations so that we could contribute in cooperating, facilitating, and supplementing these efforts to carry forward the Mission Northeast undertaken by Prime Minister Modi. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Under your watch, under your guidance, under your leadership, this transformation is something which we are witnessing. Any place that has to become big, sir, there are a few ingredients that are important and which you very aptly put forward: the markets, the people, these allied infrastructure, whether social or infrastructure, cost of logistics. These are the necessary ingredients, and I'm sure, sir, Northeast under your watch is going to actually lead the way forward. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Thank you, each one of you. Before I hand over this mic to Parminder and Nilay and Primus partners to take the discussions forward for the next session. Once again, Honorable Minister, bahut dhanyavad for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Sood, and thank you, everybody. Thank you for making me a part of this. Thank you.
Honored and pleasure, sir. To start the second session, I think, Parminder, I would hand over the.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. We will begin with the interaction part, and we will, before that, have a presentation on ITSEZ by Mr. Nilay Verma of Primus Partner. We have been joined by eminent business leaders from the hospital domain, from the hotel domain, who are actually keen to understand the facilities and the infrastructure and the schemes which are there from the government side. So I would now request Mr. Nilay Verma to please kindly start with the presentation, and then we will take question answers with our eminent panelist here.
Sure. Thank you so much, Parminder. And while the presentation has been put up, I hope people can see it. Just to make sure that we have enough time for our industry participants to provide their inputs and we can answer that. I'll keep the presentation short, but let me just start by reinforcing 5 key points that were there. I think the Honorable Minister spoke about the huge transformation that has happened in Northeast and in particular Manipur. So very often, if you are thinking about Manipur from 5 to 7 years, you do have to visit it to realize it. I have worked in Manipur for the last 11 years, and I can tell you, I can't recognize that place because of how much it has transformed. Second, for many businesses, time is extremely important. Especially when you're talking about ITSEZ. I can tell you this is the only state capital, only state in the Northeast for a long time now, day trips were possible. You could land by 7:30 in the morning and take a flight back at 5:37 in the evening. That's the only state in India which was possible. And one odd state may do that later, but that's really how easy it is to work and operate out of Manipur. Third thing I wanted to mention, and the Honorable and the Chief Secretary spoke about it, when we were going about delivering or working on the project, and many of the industry participants have had the pleasure of working with the current Chief Secretary, and he drives it. This is one state where you don't follow up with the government, but government follows up with you on the timelines that you've committed and the pace. You will see what has happened. But one of the things that he very clearly told us and the team is to say, let's bring in World Bank if they are willing to fund the project. And World Bank is currently in its process of looking at this project, obviously subject to their board approval. But the reason we wanted, or the state wanted, the World Bank is not just because World Bank brings in the funds and that has sustainability, but also the inputs that we are getting from the World Bank to make it an extremely important infrastructure and a landmark. And I just wanted to thank the World Bank team, which is also present in today's call. People often talk about the fourth point. People often talk about an ITSEZ in the context of economic growth. The reality is, an ITSEZ project in Northeast can impact, and your investment into Northeast can actually impact the state's economy. That's the power of the ITSEZ with the jobs, direct and indirect, it will create. And lastly, I wanted to mention that we have done a survey of people from Northeast who are working in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, and we very strongly believe talent, which is often highlighted as a key issue, and rightly so, is not an issue because the number of people willing to come back, given the infrastructure that has been built out, will not be an issue. With that, let me just quickly talk about some of the key aspects of the ITSEZ, and I'll do that very, very quickly. I'll request if we can go to the next slide, please. Hi, Parvinder, if we can move to the next slide. Yes, thank you.
But control
yeah.
is not with me. Anup is helping. Yeah.
Okay. Anup, if we can just move forward, please. The next slide. Yeah, I mean, people have already spoken about this, so I'm not going to talk about it, but I think it's worth highlighting that the SEZ in Manipur is being developed at the next hub of urban activities and not something which is outside the city, and therefore the secretariat, the police housing corporate building, a lot of other infrastructure. And it's also a flat piece of land, very well developed, where the surrounding infrastructure is already in development. So it's not just a ITSEZ middle of nowhere, but right at the heart of where all the development is taking place in Imphal. If we just move forward, Anup. I think I've already spoken about it. The fact of the matter is that the government has already not just earmarked, spent a fair amount of money in creating the infrastructure, the basic infrastructure, the basic plan. And we'll talk about a couple of early successes that we've had. Clearly, connectivity is something which is very decent. I've already spoken about the impact of ITSEZ that's going to happen. So your contribution is actually not just about good for your business, but good for the community and the social impact. We're also looking at creating the ITSEZ as a green ITSEZ, wherein we're looking at from a future perspective. So the investment that you make is not just limited to making return on investment, but also contributing in a much larger economic and social sense. We've also talked about the manpower. The reality is the number of higher education institutions that Manipur has set up, including IITs, over the last few years, helps us identify the right resources, including the incubation center, which has recently been created. So we believe some of the key things that you need to look at in ITSEZ does exist, and we go beyond that as we get into the presentation of the next few slides. Anup, if we can move forward, please. I think this is here, the proof of the pudding is in eating. So I can tell you in the last 6 months, or just about a little more, including COVID time, there has been a tremendous progress. As I mentioned, World Bank is looking at funding it. The phase 1 of the processing zone, the construction is already underway. The entire master planning and the DPR has been done. The state's allocation of fund for the entire financial year already has been made available. We have had 2 successes, because one of the things that we were clear about, and again the Chief Secretary kept repeating that, look, this cannot be just about infrastructure, but the people have to work and live here. And therefore, the emphasis has been on the social infrastructure while we build the first processing zone. And therefore, we are very, very happy to inform that Tata Technologies they made a proposal. This is a PPP where they're looking at a combined investment of around 200 crores to be done in a relatively short period of time. The government has already signed its agreement, and it's now awaiting final signing, which should happen within this week. So we're talking about a 200 crore PPP project becoming a reality in the state of Manipur, because we wanted to drive the social, the skilling ecosystem as we scale up the IT-SEZ, which is an extremely important aspect of it. The Chief Secretary already spoken about the KIT University. An MOU is under process for an ESTM center in the non-processing zone. So these are two PPP initiatives that we have already gone ahead with. Apart from that, like we are doing with members of the ASSOCHAM community, we are looking at working with other industry chambers and NASSCOM and others to make sure that it is not just infrastructure, but people work and live in that particular infrastructure. And we're very, very happy. And if anybody needed evidence of the state's sincerity to do it, this is what has been achieved in the last 6 months. If we can move forward, Anu. As been mentioned, it is a scalable project. We're talking about the processing zone being done into 5 buildings. The master plan looks at an integrated approach. At the same time, the build-up is in phases. The phase 1, the building is already in progress. We're talking about 12,000 odd square meter or 120,000 square feet of ready space being available within this year, and for which construction is already ongoing. And we're actually looking for investors to come as anchor tenant. The state is in the process of finalizing the IT-SEZ policy, or the IT policy, which focuses on how we can work with anchor tenants to make this possible. And that's a conversation we'll be very happy to have, and we will be sharing more details to all the people who are attending today's webinar. But really what we wanted to do was to talk about the non-processing zone, because we do believe the non-processing zone has to be developed parallelly, if not earlier, so that the right infrastructure exists for everybody to invest and work in the state of Manipur. And that's where some of the immediate opportunities also exist. Next slide, please. So in the non-processing zone, again, we have created this over a 44 lakh square meter area where there are multiple facilities, including hotel, hospital, residential complex, especially rental housing, because that's the need of the hour, especially when you're getting students or job seekers from different states coming there. The other social infrastructure, all of that has been planned in detail as far as the master plan is concerned, including making sure that it's an infrastructure where people can enjoy being there. Happy to inform that the EOI for potential co-developers, which is in the PPP for all of these hotel, hospital, and residential complex, has already been initiated. It is available on the Government of Manipur website, and we will be sharing with all of the participants for their details, which I'm going to talk very quickly about in the next few slides. Anoop, next one, please. So this is a hospital that we're talking about. We've done an independent feasibility of the hospital, and we do believe as an independent project, this is very much viable given the need of the hour. There are certain thought process that currently is in place, but what we wanted to highlight is, as part of the finalization of the RFP, because this is an EOI stage, we would look at the feedback that we receive from you with respect to whether it's a lease period, what kind of revenue sharing arrangements are we talking about, what is the, some of those particular things. We'll also be sharing with you the detailed feasibility and the financial model that has gone into developing this, including the detailed costing that we have come up with. Now, these are preliminary design, but obviously there would be fair amount of flexibility to the developer or to the promoter who's willing to do it. There is this SPV which is going to run this SEZ, including processing and non-processing zone, and they will work with you to make sure that the project gets implemented in a time-bound manner. 2.3% is the only cost that incurs and that the government was as project development cost, which is flat for everybody. But thereafter, some of the other variables we're happy to look at it and work with you based upon your feedback now or subsequently in one-to-one meetings. The team from Manipur, Mr. Deben and the Special Secretary IT is there, and we'll be very, very happy to have conversations with you on this particular thing. But hospital is one of the projects for which we have floated an expression of interest. Anup, if we can move to the next slide, please. Anup.
It's next, hotel.
Okay, sorry, thank you. So hotel, now again, for people who would understand Northeast or have been visiting Northeast, the potential for tourism is immense. The Chief Secretary spoke about a integrated ecotourism development project, which is almost close to a 1,500 to 2,000 crore project, for which the DA, as part of its screening committee, has recommended ADB to look at that project. Now that project is already happening. On 23rd of June, there is a visit from the ADB team to do the preliminary evaluation. But we believe not just for the current, not just for the future potential of tourism development, the infrastructure that's going to get built out, the attractiveness of Loktak Lake, but even for existing business and the growth that is happening in the Northeast. The Honorable Minister spoke about the money that is being spent in creating infrastructure. We believe, again, a hotel project on a standalone basis is very viable. We've assumed a certain amount of 60 keys hotel at this point of time, and again a very similar conditions that we are proposing, wherein we are talking about a first 3 year of no revenue share, third year to fifth year a particular minimum percentage, and thereafter beyond fifth year. Now this would obviously we have to be tendered out, and based upon finally we get, but I just want to highlight once again that some of these conditions have been proposed as part of an EOI for discussion with potential bidders as part of their response so that we can finalize it. Just the last two slides and then I will open this up. But yes, residential complex, we do believe, again, given the fact that you will have a large number of people coming either from the Northeast or other places for jobs, you need to create great residential complex, especially in the nature of rental housing. And that's how we have designed this particular infrastructure build, and the EOI reflects that particular aspects. Now there are different revenue sharing being proposed for this particular project, and we look forward to your feedback, not just today, but detailed conversations subsequently, for which our teams would be available, which is the Government of Manipur team, and we'll assist them to make sure we can have a detailed discussion. The master plan makes certain set of assumption, and after the EOI stage, we'll be very happy to share the detailed financials on these things as well. But once again, this is part of the ecosystem that we want to develop, which on standalone basis itself is viable, but put together makes the IT SEZ project, in our sense, an extremely important infrastructure in the entire Northeast. I think those were the slides that we wanted to build. Anup, I think there was just perhaps just one summary slide, and then we can stop this. If you can just go to the next one, please. Yeah, this is now we're working through a specific policy where we're talking about employment subsidy, obviously leasing of land. We have a power subsidy, there is marketing support, besides the normal thing on registration, stamp duty, and obviously under the SEZ Act, there are a number of benefits available. There are other initiatives on REST TPI and many other things that are available for Northeast, given the focus that this government has, the Prime Minister Modi's special emphasis for Northeast. And I think all of them not just makes it an important project, which with commercial return in a fairly stable environment, which is not what used to be 5-7 years back. And but we are more than willing to have a discussion with potential investors to look at how these incentives can be made or tailored to obviously based upon a transparent process to make sure that if you choose to invest in the ITSEZ, this is good return for you apart from the social good it brings to the entire Northeast. With that, let me just stop the presentation and just open it up to the members of the ASSOCHAM for their reaction and questions or comments. I would also perhaps just request the World Bank team if they want to make any interventions or comment at this point of time.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Verma. Thank you, Mr. Verma. We have Dr. Prashant Sharma from Charnock Hospital. So there was a slide put up for the hospital part of it. Dr. Sharma, if you would like to have some instant queries on this, of course, for more details, it can be a separate meeting can be done. And from the hotel side, we have Mr. Raju Bharat. He is the owner of the Kenilworth Hotel in Calcutta, and we have Jayanta Das from the Taj, and then Mr. Agrawal from Lemon Tree is also there with us. So I would invite your comments on this, Dr. Sharma, and following that, Mr. Jayanta Das.
Right. Thank you, Parminder ji, and a very warm namaskar to everybody present here. My regards to Dr. Rajesh Kumar and his team, to Mr. Verma and his team, and the entire ASSOCHAM fraternity for putting this together. Although I have not been very active on ASSOCHAM per se, but this is my first interaction, and I must say that I'm thoroughly impressed by the efficacy and the efficiency by which it is going. So thanks for having me here. We run a hospital in Calcutta, which is a 300-bed hospital. We have plans to scale up both our hospital and nursing facilities, nursing institutes also we are running. So Mr. Verma, I was looking at your presentation on the infrastructure front. Although I have some queries, which I think I would like to engage with you on a one-to-one basis post this meeting is over. Just one question here is, when you say the building have been sort of planned in those fashions, so the construction of the building will need to be done by the investor, or will it be given as part of a package which the investor can come and implement so that it can be speeded up and made faster?
Just thanks Prashant ji. Just to clarify, the government is going to provide a developed piece of land to the project sponsor, in this case, let's say the hospital company, and they will do their own construction. When I said about the building plan, we just made an estimate for the purpose of viability, and there are certain design elements that we may insist upon just to make sure that the overall development looks and feels the same. And so that's the thing, but we would be requesting because these are development under PPP, we expect the hospital concessionaire, if I can use that word, to do their own construction based upon their requirements.
Fair enough. And is there any estimated timeline on which it has to be completed, as in number of years or anything on those lines?
Yeah, so we want the social infrastructure to happen reasonably close. So while it varies from project to project, we do expect 12 months to 24 months is a reasonable period of time for these infrastructure to be built in after we have agreed upon.
Okay. My final question is Manipur yet open for travel? Because most states have a lot of restrictions in terms of travel, and probably we can only plan after the second wave is officially over. So Bengal is unlocking hopefully from the 1st of July. So does Manipur have any restrictions on travel so that my team can visit next July?
I think our team from Manipur can answer, but no, we are, I think, open for business. I think, our teams have traveled. If there is a specific approval required, we'll be more than happy to facilitate that.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity. I look forward to meeting you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Sharma. We have Mr. Raju Bharat. He is the owner of Kenilworth Hotel. I would like to invite him if he has any specific question, and then I would move on to Mr. Jayanta Das.
Yes, so I'm trying to get on the video, some issue. My question is, this opportunity will be tendered out to hoteliers. How does it work in terms of getting into this project as a hotelier? It would be tendered out. You've mentioned your terms.
Yeah.
How much will be allotted? And
Yeah. Sorry, I may have interrupted you, but if you can hear me, Mr. Raju, so what we have done is typically for any government programs, there has to be a fair process for selecting a concessionaire. So we're following a two-stage process, which is typical of how government works. For the first stage, we're asking for expression of interest, wherein all you are saying is, yes, we are looking at, we are willing to look at the opportunity. And at the second stage is where the terms and conditions are frozen and everybody gets the right equal opportunity to bid for the project based upon the terms and conditions that are laid out. So what we had shared in the presentation is current thinking, but this will get frozen at the next stage only in discussion with potential investors. But then in line with how government process has to be, everybody would have a fair chance to bid for it with common terms and conditions.
okay. And when do you expect this to be? When would this opportunity come up in terms of?
So the expression of interest is already on. It's just that because of COVID, we weren't able to schedule this. So I think for the next month, and I'll request Chief Secretary sir if he has to make a point, but we'll make everybody aware of where the links are for the expression of interest. So the opportunity is currently on. And we're hoping that in the next 3 to 4 months, we can finalize the partner, if not before.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Right, thank you. I would invite Mr. Jayanta Das and Mr. Agarwal from Lemon Tree if they have something. And I think somewhere in audience, we also have Peerless Hospital if they would like to add on something to it. Mr. Das, right, so
Parmita, we also have Tanmay here, and yes,
yes, he's I was saving for him, because I know they had Mr. Tanmay, we wanted to give him an opportunity to speak at length, so I was just hoping to get some input. So I think I must move on to Mr. Tanmay Chakravarti, who's there with us, and take his thoughts, and then I would invite our Chairman Infrastructure Pawan Bhartiya and Mr. Parak, who's a big real estate from eastern part to come in. So over to you, Mr. Tanmay Chakravarti.
Thank you, Parminder. Firstly, I must compliment Dr. Rajesh and his team. He will be aware that we've had ongoing discussions on Manipur. I've made personal visits in my capacity as representing Tata Sons to Imphal, and I must compliment him that even during the pandemic period, that he, in partnership with Nilay of Primus, have really packaged this together. And what I saw today is, I think, a culmination of all the planning and preparation, which is putting the opportunity in order and a presentable form for potential companies, representatives to really look at seriously. I have already sent a message to Nilay actually during this call, asking him for links to the interest in the hotel, hospital, and residential complex, which I will definitely discuss with Tata Realty, which is our infrastructure company for residential and commercial accommodation building, with Taj Hotels for looking at opportunities, and with Ginger for the hotel opportunity, as well as the hospitals, because you are aware that we are now on the Tata Trust building hospitals all over in every state capital of the country. So clearly I take away these three opportunities to discuss with our group companies, and I wish Dr. Rajesh and his team the very best. I think for the first time I'm seeing the most serious intent, and it had to happen under his leadership, because even whilst he was not the chief secretary, his passion was about the IT SEZ in Imphal, and the fact that that would become the foothold for transformation for that state, and to bring back the people who are all over the world and all over the country to come back to their homes,
and to be with their families and earn. So I think it's a tremendous planning that's done. My only word of caution would be to ensure that these are done in timelines that are palatable to both the people who are interested. It shouldn't be too long for them to lose interest, and everybody should work to a calendar. I mean, Dr. Rajesh has brought this from a 2013 plan to a 2021 reality. And I'm sure under his leadership, it is going to fructify towards the end and the outcome will come. And I will definitely ensure that I stay interested as a part of the Tata Group. We will definitely be engaged in discussions to look at what opportunities we can look at from amongst the bouquet of opportunities that have been presented today. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. And in fact, that is also a request which I would make, Mr. Verma, if the links can be shared with SOCHAM, because we would like to circulate it among the entire membership. And we are, it's quite possible those who have not been able to join us today, would like to give a look at it, look at the whole services which are being offered. So I invite anyone who would like.
Am I audible, Parminder?
Yes, please. Yes, Mr. Das, now you're audible. Yes, please.
Oh, okay. So can I come in?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I think Tanmay has already spoken about the opportunities that as an organization we can work together with the government of Manipur, particularly on behalf of ISCL. That's because that's what I represent in the Northeast. So as an organization, we are, there's a lot of focus that we have as a company, particularly in the Northeast. And currently, apart from the one hotel that we already have in Guwahati, which has been around 5 years old, we are coming up with another 5 hotels in the next 3 months to 12 months. So we got 2 hotels coming up in Gangtok, 1 hotel in Shillong, 1 in Arunachal, and we have recently, though Northeast, but is very well connected to Northeast, 1 hotel that we have just opened up in Darjeeling. So there's a lot of focus as an organization that ISL has on the Northeast, because we very strongly believe that this is where the future of tourism will be. I think Goa and Kerala, all these destinations that once we had pioneered, I think has had enough. And Northeast is one where we are as an organization focusing very strongly. So Manipur is one state where we would be very seriously looking at every opportunities that could come our way, not only in the SEZ area, which has been laid down extremely well, but also beyond that. The best thing about our organization is, as an ISCL brand, we have bouquet of different brands in our portfolios, like the Taj, the Vivanta, the Ginger, the Selection brand, and the Ama Homestays brand. So we've got different brands which can suit into different requirements and sustainability that the business would require. So I see why a Ginger could be a great opportunity in the SEZ area, but I'm sure brands like Vivanta and Taj could be really looked at all the leisure and destinations of Manipur. And that's where we can come in. So we look forward to working closely with the government of Manipur. We follow different modules of our business, whether it is our own investment or in partnership or PPE's modules. And I think one of the other modules will surely work for us. And we look forward to very positively working with the government of Manipur. So that's where I think we are very hopeful. And now that we got our presence in many of the Northeast states, I think Manipur should be our next place where we would like to come in. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I think you can take the conversation with Mr. Verma and understand, and then it's a good thought that with Ginger you would like to come to the ITSEZ. So we have one or two questions which we can take later, which is in the chat box. I would invite the comment from the infrastructure and the residential property developers. I'm leaving it open. Anyone who would like to come. Yes, I think. Mr. Basant Parekh, you wanted to ask questions about the residential property at ITSEZ. Yeah, you need to unmute yourself, sir. Uh, yes, please, you can ask your question. Yes, please.
Namaskar. Now, regarding the residential one, do we have the flexibility of designing within the given FSI the way we want it to be designed? Do we have the design flexibility? Because in the presentation, it has been explained to that the land is about 13,000 square meter. We can build about 20,000 square meter. It's G+6 storied 3-tower development. Do we have flexibility of designing at our own, or we have to follow the design which has been already created?
Can give a short answer to that. The answer is yes, Mr. Basant Parekh. You have flexibility to design.
Oh, thank you so much. That will help. Yes.
Yes.
And it will be a leasehold property, is it?
That's true. Because of regulation, SEZ land cannot be sold. So this would be a
lease of 60 years and with the right to renew?
Yes, and that there are certain regulation requirements, but yes, that's the intent.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Right. So I make it open for anyone who would like to pose any question. And Mr. Verma, there are one or two other questions related, which is you can take them up. Yeah, please.
Yeah, so maybe I can respond to that. I think there's a question regarding the power availability and how, because power would be important. So there is already a plan for a dedicated line to ensure 24/7 power availability. The suggestions that you have made in terms of a licensee, we've taken note of it. Honestly, I'm not in a position to respond to it because we need to check what does this mean, but we've taken a note of that suggestion.
Right. So is there any other comment which anyone would like to make, or you would like to read separately? Mr. Verma, I think probably you would like to share the coordinates of yours and Vivek so that, anyone who's wanting to say something can reach out to you. Mr. Harsh Sutodia is writing something that he would like to ask, but if you can type out your question, Mr. Sutodia, or would you like to speak out? I see two raised hand. One is Mr. Harsh and one is Vipul Jain. Anup, can you unmute Mr. Harsh, please? He would like to speak. May I request the colleague Anup kindly unmute Mr. Harsh? He wants to speak out and ask a question.
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Yes, Harsh,
Yeah,
please go ahead.
Good evening, Parminder ji, and good evening, everyone. And my point is to Mr. Verma, and with a request to our Honorable Chief Secretary, sir, that is regarding the the environmental front of the SEZ, and I wanted to know whether we are having a strict percentage provisions for solar power and rainwater harvesting. This is one thing which I request Mr. Verma and the Honorable Chief Secretary, sir, because Manipur, I am deeply connected with Manipur. I have been to the farthest corners of Manipur for various construction activities and works. And I've also involved with a lot of agricultural activities. And Manipur has a it's a beautiful climate and a beautiful nature, and we need to preserve that, keeping in mind with all the developments.
If I could very quickly respond to that, you're absolutely right. Environmental and social impact is something that we are very cognizant of. In fact, one of the big benefits of having World Bank as one of the agencies involved with the project is the due diligence that they do on these respects. And the fact that we want to make it green, and therefore how we can harness the environment, especially solar, all of that is part of the plan. So I just wanted to reassure you that very much cognizant of the concern or the point that you wanted to highlight.
Thank you, Mr. Verma. I'm really concerned about it, and I'm glad that you're taking due care of it. Thank you.
Right, thank you. So, Mr. Verma, any last thoughts from you, and then we would invite Chief Secretary, sir, to make any last comment and then take your coordinates so that members can reach you directly. And also, we would request for the links to be shared to the All India members. Those who have not been not forthcoming in asking questions to you today on the forum, they can reach out to you separately and ask questions.
No further comments. Just wanted to thank ASSOCHAM and the members of ASSOCHAM for today. All the information that you've asked for is already on your way, and we will share it, and we look forward to detailed interactions. And over to Chief Secretary, sir.
Thanks, Nilay. Am I audible?
Yes, very much, sir. Loud and clear.
I think thank you everyone here. It was a very, very meaningful discussion, and we are quite encouraged to see that a lot of keenness is shown by many participants of different sectors. Just to sum up, I think the expression of interest for hotel and hospital and residential block is already on. We will extend it up to 20th July so that everybody gets the benefit of participating. I will ask Nilay to share the number and contact details of my director and Deven, who will have more time to interact with the industry because I have too many caps to wear. I am always accessible, but I think if a message goes to Deven, he can connect the person with me. I'll request that if somebody wants to visit Manipur, you are most welcome. We are going to facilitate. But this EOI, I don't intend to extend beyond 20th July because if, as Nilay says, we have to close the whole thing in 3 months or 4 months or earlier, I think we have to follow the timelines. This is a very, very prime land. Manipur is having acute shortage of land. Land is not available. This is 27-acre plot bank opposite the new secretariat and is close to the High Court complex and police headquarters. You can't have a land better than this. And once the secretariat shift, hotel and other businesses become viable on its own. It's a very small example I'm giving. The residential block will be always useful. We are giving a very long lease. Obviously, lease can be renewed. If you see the EOI terms, we are not here to earn money. We are trying to get investment into construction and operation SEZ. So our terms are very, very soft. And in fact, we are saying that we are not going to share the revenue during construction period and maybe a couple of years after the construction is over. Thereafter, slight revenue sharing will be there because we need infrastructure to come up and operational infrastructure. We are going to facilitate in a manner the industry wants. I was quite happy to hear from Mr. Jayanta also and Tanmay, my old friend. I know Tanmay from 2009. Am I right? You forgot to mention that.
I forgot that, but yes, it's a long, long journey together. Yes.
But that journey is still working and functional across the country. This financial accounting package of Food Corporation India, which we did together, is still functional. And Mr. Siraj Hussain always says it has not been reversed. TCS did a good job there.
Yeah.
One offer I was saying last week when I recovered from COVID little bit. I had reviewed all the department. I have told tourism to revive this hotel in Imphal, for which you had come for Vivanta. I'm quite serious about it. So the model you're suggesting, I think let's work on this. A SEZ plot is one, but Hotel Imphal, I think if I can have a Vivanta, I'll be personally feeling satisfied. Before I left, I had a Vivanta. And last point I want to say, the SEZ building, which is getting completed, 126,000 square feet. If I can have some participant and start some call center, other thing, it will give a boost to SEZ. Of course, Nilay has found out somebody from Pune, they are very keen. 500 to 800 seater they are saying, but I think it can accommodate about 1,500. With this, I'll conclude because I think I'm developing a visa right now.
Mr. Kumar, I must tell you here that we are already in discussion with your office. I'm sure you must be aware. And along with my colleague from business development, Vice President Business Development, and myself, we have already communicated that from the 1st till the 4th of July, based on your convenience, we would be able to travel to Manipur for that, for the Imphal Hotel. So
Jayanta, I will interrupt you. I am very much here. You are most welcome to come. Let us close it.
Sure.
Because once you agree and we float the EOI and do the selection with due diligence, I will like to ink an MOU within September, not beyond that. And I mean every word of it. Because I have also decided post-COVID, the timelines are negotiable with me. You can prepone but not postpone. This is what I have told my entire team. What has to be done has to be done. And this is a comfort I'm giving industry that you shall get every clearance. If you have any problem, walk into my room, you will get the clearance. Nobody will come in your way.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Vaidya.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those kind words. I think that's a clear message for industry to come forward and make use of these opportunities. Thank you so much for your time. And even when you were not well, you have taken so much time out from your, schedule to be with us. And I'm sure the members have benefited from the meeting, and we will be circulating these links for the benefit of the members. And the contacts of Vinay Verma are there. Nilay Verma is there with us, so whoever wants to speak one-to-one can carry forward the discussion from there. So with this, we would like to close and thank everyone for your kind presence, and special thanks to Honorable Chief Secretary Sir and the entire team for being with us today. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.